Thank you for listening to Depictions Media Radio. Today's show is an important show, especially if you're a senior and you have grown children, or if you are that grown child of a senior. Sit down and listen, because we're going to hit some topics that maybe or maybe you haven't run into. Maybe you have a wonderful working relationship with your elderly parents or your grown children, and there isn't anything really wrong. But we might still be able to help you in case you do hit that bump in the road. Maybe you are in the situation where you are estranged from your elder parents or your grown children. Maybe there was a disagreement that sent you both spiraling off. Maybe there was a crossing of boundaries that shouldn't have happened. All this can be fixed. And our next guest is a gentle soul who has some friendly advice that wants to help us bridge the gaps between one side to the other, to help us realize that we're all still just human beings trying to learn and get along. Maybe we need to listen a little more. Maybe we need to be respectful of each other's boundaries. And our next guest, Dee, is going to come on and talk to us about the problem of an elderly parent being estranged from the grown child and thus not being able to see their grandchildren and being separated from what is important in their life in their later years. So let's welcome Dee to the show, and she's going to tell us about her process and tell us about her support groups and how she helps seniors get reunited with their children, their grandchildren, and maybe even their great-grandchildren. Welcome to the show, Dee. I don't think people really understand the scope of what estrangement really is and what it does to our psyche. So you deal with this a lot. So why don't you go into that a little bit, and you know, because we all need to know what it really means, right?
Okay. Okay, well, estrangement, first of all, doesn't discriminate against race or religion. Also, estrangement, it happens in all walks of life. And when it happens so quickly that the parents go in shock because there's a lot of parents that never expected this to happen in their family
Mm-hmm.
because the way they raised their children, they did it to the best of their ability. They gave them everything they could ever wanted, love, attention, money, paid for their school, tuitions, everything. And then all of a sudden one day, the child will estrange the parent and there's no reason given. And then when the parent tries to contact the child, they are putting themselves even more deeper away from the child because when the child says no contact, they mean no contact. And that means no phone calls, no text messages, no nothing. Do not send them gifts, do not send them any mail. It's no contact.
Wow, then that's pretty tough pill to swallow as a parent because I mean, well, it literally it's like you held them as a baby, you changed their diaper, you fed them. If you're a mom, you know the whole bonding of breastfeeding and all that kind of stuff, right? Many dads have gotten up at 2 a.m. with a bottle. You know,
Mhm.
it's like you remember those things and you remember all the love that you poured into this person. For them to slam a door shut on you is pretty. Um, yeah,
It's becoming more and more common. There is 1 out of 4 parents that are estranged from their adult child. And this is worldwide, not just in Canada, not just in the US, it's Australia, England, South Africa, everywhere in the world, estrangement is happening. And it's more and more common, and people have to be aware of this. I really want people to know because if it ever happens to them, there's I want them to know that they're not alone and there are safe places where they can go
yeah,
and talk about it because it's totally devastating. It's heartbreaking. They go in shock because it's like they can't believe this just happened to them. It's like devastating. They go into depression, they isolate
yeah.
themselves, they're embarrassed. And at the workplace, if they tell anyone, for some reason, people, they just automatically will judge you. Oh, you must have been a bad parent. You must have done something wrong. That's not always the case.
Well, okay. Um, it could be a misunderstanding, not necessarily you're a bad parent, right?
Right. Estrangement happens over all different sorts of things. It could be over religion, it can be over political differences, it can also be some children they call abuse now, which when we were raised and brought up, it was a normal thing for
It
us.
was good parenting, right?
Yes. Like we would call it discipline.
Yeah,
Now they call everything abuse. Time out is abuse. That's not fair
yeah.
because we did the best that we could at that time with what we knew and the way that we were raised. We never questioned our parents. Maybe some things that our
Well,
parents taught us were not right, but we never questioned that. We just moved on.
Well, that was
We would never
yeah,
decide to estrange them
yeah,
or throw them out to the curb. That would probably never cross our minds.
yeah. Um, Now, I know on a personal level that I asked my mom one time to babysit for me and who's now my ex-wife, so we could go to the movies. And um, the movie ran a little later, traffic took a little longer, and everything. And it's like, hey, it's my mom. It should all be good, right? And what I didn't know was that she hadn't told me was that she had something that she wanted to do, and me being late coming back to pick up my daughter had become an issue. So she decided to come crashing down at me like a stack of barrels. But that could have led to an estrangement, but there's a conscious decision, isn't there, to say, hey, wait a second, let's stop, let's ask a question rather than react and and do something, right? So I said, well, did you miss a church thing or something, or like a prayer session that you wanted to go to or something? And she's like, well, you know how important prayer is to me, and then all my church groups. I was like, there it was, right? But if I
Mhm.
had just stormed off, grabbed my kid up and just stormed off, I would never found that out, and I would have never understood that me being late became a hardship. I just thought my mom was being mean. So how do we fix those perspectives?
Exactly. And the thing is, I think there was not enough communication with our children, maybe when they were younger.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we didn't take them serious enough when they would speak about things. Oh, well, they're just a child, they'll get over it the way that we got over things. And the thing is, I believe the way that we were raised, and sometimes maybe it wasn't all good, we brought into the raising of our children, even though we said we'll never raise our children the way our parents raised us. But for some reason, it kind of winds in there. And we do. It's like you'll catch yourself going, oh, I remember my mom saying that to me, and I'm saying that to my daughter now. So there is, and to me, there is no perfect parent. Parents do make mistakes. I made mistakes. I'm sure my parents made mistakes, but it's the way you look at it, the perspective.
Mm-hmm.
That means a lot because you could take it the wrong way or you could just let it go.
Right. I like what you said there. The wrong way or let it go. Right. It's like
Right.
um, the last time I checked, right, as a parent, you're still flesh and blood, right?
You would think so, but nowadays, a blood relative means nothing to a lot of the new generation. Like they'll still cut you off, no matter blood or not blood.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that a little bit difficult also to deal with. And it's just so much that you could talk about. And there's just so many different scenarios which you have to handle differently because everyone is unique in their own way and they've all estranged in different ways.
Yeah. It was one thing that I talked to somebody about. It was um, the saying, "My house, my rules."
Yes.
Right. Now, given the left perspective, because I hate right and wrong, but left and right
Uh-huh.
sounds good. Given the left perspective, that um, Oh, you're just using your house as a means to abuse me. The right perspective could be something along the lines of, "Oh, well, wait a second. I didn't know that was a rule. Can you let me know what the rule is and how I can abide by that rule?"
Mhm.
So,
Okay, for an example, there was a parent that had a grandson that came over, and the way the parent was raised, you always take your hat off at the dinner table.
mhm.
Nowadays, that rule does not fly because the parent will say, I bought the hat for him to wear. And if you keep telling or keep reminding them about it, then they say that you're bullying him.
Mm,
If you keep telling him, oh, why is he still wearing that hat? Why is he still wearing that hat? He should take it off at the dinner table. And then it's like, okay, well, it's my house, my rules. And they'll say, okay, we won't come over anymore. So who's the bully now?
right.
They're putting you into a spot saying, if you don't do it my way, then we're not going to come over anymore. We're not going to see you anymore.
Yeah, you have a good point. Is like now who is doing the bullying, and so
And they
how do
don't
we
call it
bring
bullying.
each other to
They call
alignment?
it, I'm defending my son.
Right.
I'm defending him. And it's like, I don't, it's all matter again of perspective, of which way you look at it.
Well, I would think that even if it was said, it's like, you know what? Even when I was a kid, I thought that was a stupid rule.
Mm-hmm.
At least they voiced their opinion about what they thought of the rule to begin with. It's like, and then you have something to work with, right? But just saying blanketedly that if you don't allow him to wear the hat, then we're not coming. That's that's closing a door rather than communicating, right?
Right. And it's a lot of these things that happen. It's the smallest things that you wouldn't even imagine that was a problem, but it adds up and adds up and adds up. And then all of a sudden, you're estranged. They will estrange you. And a lot of times they won't give you an explanation because they will tell you, I've told you many times. But it was never a sit down conversation between the adult and the child. It was just little things that added up through their childhood and till they were adults, and then they estrange you. Because you would think if their childhood was that bad, why didn't they say something before? Why do they wait till they're like older, like in their 40s with their own children? Is it because nowadays they raise children differently? So maybe they're looking at it like the way we raise our children now is better than what the way that you raised us. So the way you raised us is wrong, but the way we're raising our children are right. This is the right way
Mm, I think that there's only a way, not a right
or a wrong
way,
way. No,
wrong way.
it's what you think is
It
what you're doing the best that you can, right?
right,
But
right, and
they
and that's
think,
all we can do as parents, right?
right? But the way that they're thinking is that we did it the wrong way and they're doing it the right way, which should be a big argument right there.
Well, it leads me to another
Like respect. They say respect is not given, respect is earned. When
well,
I was growing up, you just automatically would respect your elders.
yeah.
But nowadays, it doesn't matter if you're elder or not. Oh, it doesn't matter if you're a parent, doesn't matter who you are, you have to earn their respect because they just don't give respect anymore. You have to earn their respect.
Yeah, yeah, and you would think that. Um, okay, there are some exceptions out there, but for the most part,
Yes,
you would think that having lived a life of however old we are.
right.
No, I'm not giving out any specific numbers. uh, you would think that if you lived a good, a successful life, you provided them with a happy home, a home that was full of love, that in of itself would have earned it. Does does that make sense?
It does to us, but not to them. And plus, there were parents that were divorced. So a lot of times, even though they could have been close with the mother, they take the father's side.
Well,
Or if they're close with the father, they take the mother's side. It's like there's
yeah.
no balance there, really.
Okay, so when I
Yep.
grew up, right, you were going to talk about the divorce issue, and this made divorce for me a serious issue. Um, I grew up very much so that if you got divorced, it was a sin.
Yes, absolutely.
You don't break up the family unit. It's like so when when I got divorced the first time, um, I mean I got hit with the oh, you're such a failure, it's like, oh yeah, and by the way, you're the male, so you must have been cheating on her or beating on her or something behind closed doors that we didn't know about, because I have an older sister and my of course my mother, um, and that's just the way it's thought. And then most of my sister's kids are girls, so you know, and it's led to um, an estrangement with my one niece, because I don't know what my sister told them about what happened with my divorce. I didn't, because I closed the book on that. I was like, no, you guys cannot see what is happening here. It isn't happening. I don't want you in there. So I shut my mother and my sister out. I shut as well as my brother. I shut them out of there. They don't need to know what happened in that courtroom. It was between me, my ex-wife, and the judge. There's a public record, and I had it sealed against them. They can't look at it. And as a result, because they don't know what happened, they form their own opinions. And later on, this is like 20 years later, I'm finding out that it's like, oh, you really didn't know anything that was happening in my house. So how do you bridge gaps when people just stop listening though?
The only way with the estranged child, it's up to them if
Mm-hmm.
they want to have a reconciliation or not. No matter what you do, you could beg or anything. You could, whatever you do, cry. It doesn't matter to them. It's up to them if they want to have you back in their life or not. And 98% of the time, they do not.
Yeah. Well,
So then the parents, because they're so crushed all they do is think about their child, that they want their child back in their life. They want their child back in their life. And then
Mhm.
after so many years, like some people are going 20 years, after 20 years, they finally wake up and they say, I don't think this is going to happen. I just wasted 20 years of my life by wanting my child back and dwelling on my child that this never did happen. So, what I would suggest is anyone that is estranged from their child, your first priority is you. You've been a caregiver
Mhm.
to everyone all your life, and I'm sure you even put yourself to the side for many things to make sure your family had everything.
Yeah.
Now it's time for you. If you're estranged, do not wait for them to reconciliate. What you should be doing is taking care of yourself. Take care of your health is so important because estrangement has a big effect on your health, mentally and physically.
Yeah.
So that is really important to take care of yourself, take care of your health, and do things just for you. When your child,
Mhm.
if they decide to come back into your life and they have set their boundaries, make sure you have a set of boundaries also, because any relationship that breaks up goes two ways. There's good and bad from both sides.
Mhm.
But if when they want to get back together and they set their boundaries, they expect you to follow their boundaries as if you have no say.
Right.
So, this is where I feel you have to know your worth.
Mhm.
Know your
Mhm.
worth and know that your boundaries matter too. And if you can't connect with the boundaries and you're just going to go with their boundaries, then expect to be their doormat also.
So have your own set
Because,
of boundaries because you have your own set of worth.
right.
Mhm. Okay.
Because
So
if you just go with your, it happened to me. The first time I was estranged, it happened to me. My daughter set the rules. And I was just so thankful that she wanted me back in her life that I said yes. I agreed to everything. But it doesn't work out that way because after a while, you will see the bullying happening,
right.
and once this starts happening, you're feeling worse again. You're feeling so depressed again. And you
Uh-huh.
know that you made the wrong choice. So now it's up to you what you can do about it. And if you start to speak up for yourself, that's it. They'll cut you out of their life again with no problem.
So come up with your own set of boundaries and
Right.
try to communicate so that those two sets of boundaries and rules mesh together.
Because if there's only one set of boundaries, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
There might be 1% chance it'll work, but out of statistics and people that I've talked to and clients, second time around, it always happens.
Yeah. Well, and that could lead to like a 0% chance of reconciliation the second time around.
Exactly.
So
And if there is a second time around, a lot of times that doesn't work out either
yeah.
for the same reasons, unless you're putting your boundaries in and you both agree. But if it's only one sided, no.
Yeah. So we have to come together and work together. So is this some of the things that you teach in your group sessions and your coaching?
Yes. And another thing is mindset. You have to change your mindset.
Yeah.
You have to get out of all your negativity and think more positive.
Mhm.
And always you have to find something good in every situation, even in estrangement, because maybe this is where you are supposed to be in your life at this time. Maybe
Well,
it's time for you to enjoy your life
yeah.
because your children cannot just bring you happiness. You have to love yourself first before
Ah.
anyone else can love you, even your children. And if you don't
Yeah.
love yourself, respect yourself, have self worth, how do you expect other people to see you that way? They'll walk over you.
Mhm.
They will take advantage and they will use you as a doormat. So the choice is yours. In the end, the choice is yours.
Yeah. You see, you just said something really, really important. Um, in that, find something good because there's a lot of people out there that they want to wallow in their own pain and their own um,
Oh, you can stay
negative
on the pity
views.
train?
you
You can
know,
stay on the pity train for a long time,
yeah,
trust me.
say, hey, hey,
Because it's easier to stay there than it is to work on yourself to help yourself to get better. But if you don't, nobody's going to do that for you. Nobody can do that for you.
yeah,
Even if you have good friends and family that are rooting for you and going, please, I want you to see you do better. I want to see you happy. They still can't do anything for you unless you work on yourself to make yourself happy. You
right,
have to do it for you, not do it because, oh, if I work on myself and I'm happy, then my children will want me back. No,
yeah.
work on yourself.
So I got a question with that one then. Okay, in your view, the happiness has to come from within, right?
Right.
Not not some exterior source. It's inside of you, right?
No. Yes.
So how do you help people find
100%.
that?
By changing their mindset, by getting rid of all their negativity, negative thoughts, negative actions, and just the simple things in life can actually make you happy. You don't have to spend money. Like, when's the last time you went for a walk and stopped and just picked up a flower and smelled that flower?
Mm,
Like nature, go back to nature where everything has started.
yeah,
That starts to give you a little bit of purpose. How did that flower get so beautiful? Because you nurture it.
right.
Like when people think that, oh, the neighbor has a better life, a better house, a better car. No, you could have that too. You could have whatever anyone else has as long as you nurture yourself. You take care of yourself. You can have everything or anything you've ever wanted and happiness
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is
because
very true.
nobody can give you happiness. Someone can make you happy at the moment, but you have to be happy yourself.
Yeah, that's very true. You know, so
Because if you're going to walk around being negative, that vibe, it brushes off on other people.
yeah,
And they may, oh, hi, how are you? Let's have coffee. Okay. But then slowly, if you start getting into depression, you start to isolate yourself, people don't know how to deal with that. So instead of trying to help you because they don't know how, they just stay away. And then you're going to end up losing a lot of friends and family that way too. So this is why I'm saying when you're estranged and you do get into depression, you have to help yourself to find that way out. And little steps here and there, it's a big accomplishment for someone that has gone through an estrangement and been through depression and also isolation.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of sense. Take those little steps for ourselves.
And reach out for help. There's groups out there. I have a group that I've just started. It's going to be brand new. It'll probably be set up. It should be set up by tomorrow, the latest. And it's a parents of estranged adult children support group where if you are an estranged parent, you're welcome there. It'll be a safe place that you could talk about things, and it will be really helpful because you're not alone. There are thousands of estranged parents, but you just don't know about it because it's something they don't want to talk about.
Yeah. Can you describe maybe the group dynamic?
Okay,
What's kind of the setting so that it stays safe for people?
it's a safe setting. It's, you will have to ask, I will be asking a lot of questions before you can even join the group to make sure that we're having the right people in there. Once in a while, yes, as soon as it could have a slip that someone's going to get through the cracks. Of course, it's normal. But as soon as we find out they're out of there, like some parents will try to get into a group for estranged children.
Hmm.
And the stuff that they hear in there, they're not liking. Well, you should not be in there. You should not be snooping,
Mm. Hmm.
you know, because that's only going to make matters worse. And the thing is, how would you like it, privacy, if someone invaded your privacy? No matter if they're your child or who they are, you wouldn't want your privacy invaded. Why are you going to a group that you don't belong in? That's not fair. Oh, just to see what they're saying about the parents. What is that going to get you? What is the purpose?
Yeah. In some respects, doesn't it lead back to what we were saying about work on yourself? So
Mm-hmm.
be a part of that group of people that have the similar problem that, but at the same time aren't sitting there wallowing in the self
Right.
pity party.
The thing is, we uplift each other.
Right.
We support each other. And this is what's important because you could talk to someone that's never been estranged from their child before, and they really don't get it. They
Hmm.
really don't understand. So in this group, it's parents that have gone through what you've gone through. Maybe a little bit different. Their stories are a little bit different, but it's all common ground. It
Hmm.
is estrangement. And when you tell your story, it helps others also to say, wow, that sounds like I could have written that because it hits home with them. So it does help them to also talk about what happened to them. And the more people that we can get in the group, the more support you have.
But we have to make sure that they're the safe people who have the
Right.
understanding, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Okay. So
And
what?
it's free. It's a free
Yeah.
group.
Yeah. Um. What is the result that you want to have for the people that work with you?
The result would be to, if I could help at least one person, that would be a blessing.
Hmm.
And when you do help one person, it will snowball. So hopefully there'll be a lot of people out there that will get some help, get their life back, and start living it because any of the strange parents have more time behind them than they do in front of them.
Hmm.
So don't waste any more of your time. Start to enjoy your life because you deserve it. You deserve to have the best life that you can live also.
Yeah. All right. Best ways to get a hold of you.
To get a hold of me with email me at lifecoach7578 @gmail.com. You can contact me through my Facebook page, which is Deborah D. So those two ways you can contact me.
All right. Well, thank you, Dave, for your time today and your insight.
It
Um,
was my pleasure. Thank you,
yeah.
Michael.
Yeah. And thank you, everybody, for listening today. And find that subscribe button wherever it is on your screen. And if you come across our support link, it is there so you can help us keep bringing people like Dee onto our show so that we can continue bringing that message of love, togetherness, and wholeness to every house that we touch.
Right.
All right. Bye for now, everybody.
Thank you.
Help us
This show has been produced by Depictions Media. Please contact us at depictions.media for more information.